of the Universe fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming with another video review. And on today's episode, I am absolutely excited to be showing this to you. Today, thanks to the folks at Factory Entertainment, I have for you a world premiere in-hand look at their upcoming Masters of the Universe 1-to-1 scale Skeletor's Havoc Staff prop replica. Now, this is something that I was absolutely excited to hear about being produced. A little bit ago, they announced that they're going to be working with Mattel to create scaled replicas, which are 8 to 9 inch versions of the Power Sword and Havoc Staff. But recently, at their San Diego Constellation Con, they let it slip that they're going to be doing full-scale replicas of those pieces. And my mind was blown. As a kid growing up in the 80s, He-Man, Transformers, Ninja Turtles were staples in my childhood. Running around, I wanted to be able to transform into Optimus Prime or have the weapons to pretend to be a Ninja Turtle. I also wanted to have the Power Sword or Havoc Staff to be He-Man or Skeletor. And never before has that been possible until now. Introducing the very first officially licensed 1-to-1 scale, full scale prop replica of the Havoc Staff. Here we go. Now, for reference, I stand at 6 feet 3 inches tall. I don't know what that is in terms of meters, but this is just the staff. You can see how large it is. This is made out of all metal, and the full prop comes in 4 pieces. There are 3 here in the staff itself. You got a lower section, middle section, and an upper section. And you can see how big this is. I mean, gives you an idea. And like I said, all metal construction. So I'm going to use some keys. All the way through. This entire thing is all metal. By itself, it weighs a little over 5 pounds. Just to kind of illustrate the size of it in general. The color is also fantastic. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that it was Mattel's decision to do the color like this. Also, it was their decision to go with this style. Masters fans know that the vintage toy Havoc Staff looks different than what was on the Filmation cartoon. Also, this is the Origins one, so the color is a little bit off. This comes across a little bit more bluish than anything. White balancing in general and color matching on cameras is actually fairly difficult. But this, you can see, you got the 4 ridges, much like what is recreated here. The bottom section has the ball section, also what the vintage toy had. And what's great about it is if you are a collector of Masters, you know that this was actually fairly small in comparison to the figure. But they had to do a full size of this. Otherwise, it would like come up to here. And that includes the headpiece of it. Factory didn't want to recreate it that way. So they made it full size to match with a grown adult while still maintaining the color that Mattel wanted and the particular style of staff that they wanted to go with. But this by itself is pretty impressive. But that's not what you guys really want to see. No, I don't believe that's what you want to look at. I believe you want to see the most important part of this. And here we go. Made again out of all metal. Here you go. For reference purposes, my head is pretty big in more ways than one. But is that incredible or what? By itself, this weighs a little over 8 pounds. When you combine that with the 5+ pounds of the staff, you're looking at about 14 pounds of metal There is no polystone or foam or ceramic or anything like that. If you're going to go all the way. And Factory Entertainment absolutely did. The detail on this is outstanding. You can see the horns have a great amount of texture throughout it. I love the fact that they're also separate. You can see from the tip all the way down to the base, it's freestanding. It doesn't connect anywhere in here. The sculpt, though, is also absolutely impressive. You can see all the little jagged lines that would make up a real skull. Look deep into those eyes. Absolutely amazing big eyeballs. You can see the nose. I mean, this whole jaw section is all solid metal. I want to say that, like, I mean, that's really solid, though, so that's got to be thick. I mean, it's definitely hollow, but it is still all metal in a lot of areas. It is also solid, so it's hard to kind of illustrate that, but the sheer weight of this blows my mind. You also have this extra pull section, which will connect to it, and I'll show that here in a minute. One thing that I love, though, is, like I said, they recreated this, which is not going to really focus too terribly much. But the vintage style skull and staff had a very real world look to it. The cartoon didn't. One thing that, though, is not on the vintage toy, you can see, though, here on the bottom, they sculpted in the spinal cord, like brainstem area. That's an attention to detail that I honestly never expected. I mean, they could easily have just like made that smooth and nobody would have thought anything of it. But they wanted realism. And putting that in there is amazing. Even when you look at the teeth, you can see how they look like they're separate pieces. Like when you look at the skull of a human, you can see that the teeth look like a separate part of the jaw and the mouth. I love the fact that they recreated that all the way around. Everything on here. The color is also beautiful. I love the very reflective nature of it. And I'm just standing here, the heaviness of it is giving me an arm workout. I mean, total 14 pounds. If you're going to be walking around a convention in cosplay carrying this, you're going to get a good workout. But I digress. Let's take a look at this entire thing. Now, I want to thank Factory for letting me do this. This is the only one that is in existence right now. But this is what you guys have been waiting for. Wow. Like I said, I have waited my entire 42 years. Well, I shouldn't say 42 years because He-Man hasn't been around that long, but my whole life I have waited for something like this. And if you think this is good, wait for the Power Sword. This is almost 7 feet tall. Again, for reference, I am 6 foot 3 inches. This is breathtaking. And, I mean, you can go, yeah, I am Skeletor. That's a terrible impression. I'm sorry. But, I mean, mind blown. Mind blown. But like I talked about, almost 14 pounds. There is a tremendous amount of weight in this. And that's what I wanted to really illustrate in this review. Prop replicas in general cater to a different style collector. They're much more expensive pieces. I have a ton of prop replicas that, in my opinion, do not compare to this and are high price items by themselves. Right now, if you go through factoryent.com, you can pre-order this for a small deposit and you can do payment plans on it. The estimated release for this is 10 to 12 months, which gives you plenty of time to break it up and make some small payments so that when this releases, it's yours. Also, from now until the end of October 2020, you can take advantage of their early bird special, which knocks an extra $50 off, making the price $49.99. After that time, the price will go up $50. And this is selling incredibly well. The question is, why start with this? Well, because official prop replicas of Masters of the Universe pieces have never existed. This was an unknown for them. So they started with the Havoc Staff, knowing that the Power Sword would sell very well. And if this did well, that they knew that the Power Sword would do even better. And this has been incredible. This piece is not going to last. So I would absolutely recommend picking this up if it's something that you're interested in. If you don't want to go through Factory Entertainment's own website, you can go to Big Bad Toy Store. Now they have it for the full $550. But what's nice about Big Bad Toy Store is that you can put your deposit down and then not pay anything that entire time. So you can break things up and you can save a little bit from now until it releases, like I said, 10 to 12 months. So if that's more your flavor, that's an option for you. But don't miss out on this. When this is gone, it's going to be gone. And that's going to go for the Power Sword as well. This truly is an incredible, incredible piece. And in my opinion, there's not a company out there that could have done this justice like Factory Entertainment. The folks over there know what it takes to create a proper replica, and using all metal construction, not skimping on the weight or the quality, putting an amazing amount of sculpted detail into a metal skull. These people know what they're doing. Nothing about this has been done cutting corners. They know that Masters of the Universe fans have wanted things like this officially forever. And this gives it to us. So again, I want to send a huge shout out to the folks over at Factory Entertainment for allowing me to show this to you guys in person. You can look at pictures, you can see all this stuff, but seeing it next to an actual person, seeing the weight as I'm holding it here is really telling of all the quality that's being put into this. So again, thank you, Factory Entertainment. And now if you guys would like to pick this up, as I said, you have two really good options. I'm sure there are other ones, but I know FactoryAnt.com, you can get this for $50 off for the remainder of October. You can also take advantage of their payment plan option. If you want to go through Big Bad Toy Store, that's also available to you. You do still also have to come up with the deposit for it, but you don't have to pay anything else until it actually drops. As I said, 10 to 12 months, hopefully sooner. But you got plenty of time to save up for this. And like I said, just wait until you see that Power Sword. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, do me a real quick favor and hit that little thumbs up button. That one small gesture really does go a long way towards helping out, and I would really very much appreciate it. Also, I got to send a huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members. If you'd like information on how you can help support my channel by becoming a patron, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/Optibotimus. Or if you want to keep it really easy and keep all of your perks like loyalty badges, custom emojis, private chats, and Zoom calls, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. And finally, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.